Would you like me to share my screen?
You're welcome. We're just waiting. I think it's Richard who should be starting, or is it you?
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I can wait until 11, like the hour, and
the
then I can
participants.
share my screen if that would be helpful.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Let's can wait for like maybe a couple more minutes. It's still time. There's still time.
Yeah,
But we can
exactly.
like chat. In the meantime, we have already one of the participants here, two of the participants, and we're also waiting on my colleague Reem to join to live stream this into Facebook. So we're
Oh, wonderful.
yeah.
Great, great. So wonderful. So I will present for about a half hour. Is that okay? Or well, I won't present the whole time because I'll leave, of course, time for Q&A, the important part.
Of course.
Yeah, great, great. And then I know my colleague will come in at 11:30 our time. So I see you have pennants back there. Do you have one from Georgetown back there?
It's there. It's
okay.
My office is like for the I think it is there. It's there, but
okay, good.
the whole center is decorated with those banners. If it is not, I'll just send you an email. Send us some.
Okay, yep. Sounds
Perfect.
good. I can do that. I can definitely do that. Let me.
I think we're on now.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to connect today. My name is Ryan Byington. I am the Director of Admissions for the Masters of Science in Foreign Service here at the Georgetown School of Foreign Service. So I am actually going to share my screen. I'm going to give a brief presentation about the School of Foreign Service here at Georgetown, and then I will open it back up for questions and answers. So just one moment while I share my screen here. Let's see. 1 second here. Apologies. Okay. All right. And perfect. All right. Are you seeing my slideshow? Okay.
Yes, we are.
Okay, sounds good. So let's get started here. Apologies. I have multiple windows open. So 1 second and we will get started. So sorry about this. All right. Sorry. Multiple windows here. All right, here we go. All right, so as I mentioned, my name is Ryan Byington. I am the Director of Admissions for the Masters of Science in Foreign Service here at the Georgetown University.
Ryan, I bet you.
Oh, we see Google.
We're seeing Google, yeah.
Okay, we were
seeing the presentation.
Okay, there we go. Let me share one more time here.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Yep, there you go.
All set? Okay, sorry about that. So, all right, so we're going to kick it off here. We're going to talk a little bit about the history and the culture here at Georgetown, the curriculum and requirements, and then also we will talk a little bit more about the class profile and the career outcomes, and of course, how to apply to the program and the different scholarship opportunities. All right, so the Walsh School of Foreign Service here is the longest running school of international affairs in the United States. And the program is a combination of academic rigor and professional development. We are located here in Washington, D.C. We have about 104-acre campus. We are located in what is called Northwest D.C. We are a few miles from the White House, from the United States Capitol. We are also right across the river from Virginia, which has a lot of corporations in it, and just a lot of government organizations are based here in DC, given it being the nation's capital. With that, that means we have access to the State Department, like DOJ, Homeland Security, USAID, just a lot of different opportunities for not only education and internships, but also that's where your professors are coming from. So they might be working during the day at one of those positions, and then they will come here to teach their class. So you're really networking and learning from professionals in the field. We have multiple, as I mentioned, practitioner professionals and successful alumni. You'll see Madeline Albright here, who was a longtime professor and friend of the School of Foreign Service here at Georgetown University. We had a celebration of her life a few weeks ago. We had former President Bill Clinton speak, along with Hillary Rodham Clinton. We had Jake Sullivan, who does national security, speak here at Georgetown a few weeks ago. So those are just some of the many speakers that you would be getting as a student at Georgetown University. So we are a Jesuit institution, so I'm not sure how familiar you are with the Jesuit background, but as a Catholic university, Georgetown is open to all faiths, creeds, and everyone is welcome here at Georgetown University. For the graduate level, there is no theological requirement. So as mentioned, all faiths and backgrounds are welcome and celebrated here at Georgetown. These values here, these 5 core values, are the 5 core values of the Masters of Science and Foreign Service program. So leadership, creativity, ethics, service, and inclusion. And to sum it up, this is how we want our students. This is what we look for in our students. And this is how we want our students to learn and how we want them to lead throughout the process. So with foreign service, you might think, well, foreign service, am I automatically going to be a foreign service officer? No, not necessarily. The term foreign service was actually at Georgetown was actually created and used before the State Department's adoption of that term. So while many of our students do go on to be foreign service officers, you'll see here in a few slides that there are many different career paths that you can take as a graduate and alum of the School of Foreign Service. But as always, these are the 5 values that we look for in our students and how we want our students to lead and go and serve the world with these values. So the Masters of Science in Foreign Service is just one of 8 programs here at the School of Foreign Service at Georgetown University. We are the flagship program and the program that I represent. Now, I'm happy to always give you more information about any of these other programs and connect you with the my colleagues that represent those programs as well. So you'll see that we have thematic programs, so security studies, global human development, and then we have regional programs, so Arab studies, Asian studies, Eurasia, Russian and Eastern European studies, German and European studies, and Latin American studies. So another thing to note is that students that are in any of these programs can take classes from any of the other programs as well. So for example, if you are a student in the Foreign Service program and you have a regional interest in Latin American studies, then you can take your class, you can take electives in those classes. So while we are all separate programs, we are all one School of Foreign Service. So that means that you have access and ability to network with all of the different professors and take all the classes as well. I do also want to mention that the Masters of Science in Foreign Service here at Georgetown, we do have dual degree, joint degree programs with the business school, with the McCourt School of Public Policy, and with the law school. So if you're interested in any joint degrees as well, those are program plans that you can take advantage of. They do add a few more years on your course of study, but of course, just want to let you know, and I'm always happy to talk about what those course plans look like and how we can fit that into your schedule. So Academic overview. So the Master of Science in Foreign Service is a full-time 2-year program, 48 credits. Your first semester that you come will focus on your core courses, your first semester or two. So as you see on the screen, 18 credits are your core. Some of these classes are waivable. So if you feel that you have, extensive experience in these courses, or you've taken similar courses in the past, we will allow you to take a waiver exam, which therefore doesn't replace the class, but it gives you another elective that you can take. And once again, you'll see that principled leadership. So once again, leadership is a very important core value and component of our program, and the same with ethical decision making. So then you also have a concentration. So your concentration is like your major. So there's 4 different concentrations that you can take advantage of. Global politics and security, we call it GPS. That is our largest and most broad concentration. About 60% of our students that come in are part of the GPS concentration. There's also global business, finance, and society concentration. International development, which we call IDEV. And then science, technology, and international affairs, which we refer to as STIA. And that is our newest concentration. And the concentrations each have a gateway course that you take, and then you take a bunch of electives that you kind of pick and choose and plug and play the different types of programs that you want to do. And then, again, with your electives, you have, as I mentioned, you can take classes in other Georgetown University programs. You can pursue a certificate. So if you want to pursue a regional certificate, that is when you do that as well. So graduation requirements. So you're in the program, you take your classes. What else do you need to do to get a Master's of Science in Foreign Service degree? So we do require a foreign language proficiency for all of our students. So when you come in, you will take a placement exam in a language other than what you are, your heritage language. And then you will either pass that exam right away, or you can take additional classes and then pass the foreign language proficiency by the time you graduate. The other part that I would like to mention as right now, and this can always change, but we offer free language courses for students. So if you would like to take more language courses, or you would like to learn a different language, as of right now, Georgetown will pay for 1 foreign language class per semester for you to take. So that is a really good way to enhance your language or learn a new language while you're here. We do require 1 internship. Most students do this internship between their first and second years in the summer. We do offer some limited funding for internships that are unpaid, or if you go abroad to do your internship. About 90% of our students do their internship in the United States. 10% do go internationally. And with that internship, you can use our Career Center, which is a dedicated career center just for the School of Foreign Service, to help with the internship. Your concentration chair will also be able to help. And then we have a myriad of other resources that you take, or that you can take advantage of. And then we require an oral examination. So with the oral examination, your last semester in the program, you will have a topic of your choosing, and you will write a policy brief about it. And then you will give an oral presentation of that, and you will have a committee made up of your concentration chair and other faculty members and practitioners in that field that are familiar with your topic. And they will be asking you questions about your policy brief. And then they will also ask you questions about how this fits into a more global landscape. So honestly, the topic can be of your choosing, but it is about, we want you to present it in a clear and concise way, and to showcase all of the information that you've learned over the past 2 years in the program. And then going back to our requirement or our value of leadership, we do require a leadership requirement. So that can take many different forms. So for example, you can be a MSFS rep that is like a student government student government representative, or I have students work with me as admissions ambassadors. You can take on leadership in your internships in different clubs and organizations on campus. So this leadership requirement is very broad, and there are multiple different ways that you can, kind of check that box. So what did our incoming class look like? So last year this past fall, I should say, we brought in a class of 119 students, and the average GPA was 3.7 on the US scale. Average age is 26. So you'll see with that average age, many of our students have a few years of work experience. So about four and a quarter. 62% of our incoming class were female, 37% male, and 1% identified as other. We had students come from 21 US states and 28 countries. 33% of our students were international, and you'll see the ethnic breakdown here. And then we do not require the GRE test, however, you can submit it, and it is a part of your application if you are going to take it for another program or that you are applying to, or if you feel that your academic profile could use some additional context. That's when we would recommend that you take the GRE. So you'll see here the average GRE scores for all of our students that submitted their test scores. If you do want to submit the GMAT, which is not required, that is a 665 is the requirement there, or the average there. And then the TOEFL score was 109, IELTS was 7.7. So you're looking at employment outcomes of 2021. We are still waiting on our 2022 data, but 98.4% of our students had employment after graduation. You'll see the median salary. 10% were employed internationally. And you'll see that a lot of our students go into both the public and the private or nonprofit sector. So as I mentioned, yes, U.S. Department of State is a very large place for our students to go, but there are many different areas as well. So I'll give you a moment to take a look at these. All right. So application, how do you apply for the program? The application, if you submit it by December 1st, your $90 US dollar fee is waived automatically. If you submit by January 15th, you are automatically considered for scholarship, and there's no separate application besides your program application that you need to fill out if you want to be considered for merit-based funding. The scholarship, or the application is an online application form. We do ask for your academic transcripts, your resume or your CV. So a lot of times you might be told that your resume should only be 1 page or really short and succinct. Now I tell you, you should make it as long as you can. Put all your research in there, put all your interests in there and everything that you've done, because you're only going to have a few pieces of information that you can present in your application for the admissions committee to get to know you. I say the more that you can give us in the application on your resume, that's for the best. And personal statements, so 550 to 700 words. And I always say, answer the who, what, where, why, and when. Briefly tell us who you are. Tell us why you want to do Georgetown's program specifically. What about the program, who you want to study with, what you want to go on to do with this degree, and what led you to want to study international affairs or foreign service or one of the programs here at the School of Foreign Service. There was something along the way that led you to this career path. Tell us about that, and tell us about why now in your career do you want to do the program. So we do require micro and macroeconomics, a B- or better. Now, if you did not have access or did not take the micro or macroeconomics prior to applying, that is okay. You can take that in the summer before starting at Georgetown University if admitted. Now, I always encourage you to take those courses in the summer, because if you do not complete those after getting admitted, but before starting classes, we will enroll you at a Georgetown University undergrad micro and macro course. And that is just another cost and another class that is on, on your schedule that potentially you could have gotten, taken care of. So don't worry if you do not have those micro and macro classes already on your transcript. There is, still an opportunity to take them. Once again, a language proficiency, intermediate to advanced, and then previous work experience. So someone, or a lot of applicants will always ask me, well, what's relevant work experience? Well, if it led you to the path of foreign service or international affairs, I say it's relevant. So it could have been something that, maybe you were studying to be, studying to be a doctor, but then there's something along the way that drew you to foreign service and drew you to international affairs, then that experience is relevant because it's telling you this is the career path that you want. So, internships, part-time jobs, full-time jobs, those are all potentially previous work experience that you can count. As mentioned, the GRE and GMAT are optional. We do allow you to put any supplemental information. So there is a text box if there's anything else that you would like us to tell us about your background or anything else that you would like to share on your application, you can do so. There's a supplemental essay that you can talk about, that there's a writing prompt, and then there's a video submission, which is not required. Once again, it's optional. It is about leadership. So talking about leadership within 2 minutes. So just another piece of your application that you can take advantage of and complete. So I am going to stop there and open it up for questions and answer. But this is my contact information. So it's rb1810@georgetown.edu. We would invite you. We have a lot of virtual programming. If you ever do find yourself in DC prior, we'd be more than welcome, or you're more than welcome to come sit on a class, visit campus, anything like that. But we do have a lot of virtual programming that I invite you to. If you send me an email, I will make sure to send you the link for that. And once again, let me back up a few slides. If you are interested in any one of these other programs, thematic programs or regional programs, just let me know and I'm happy to talk more about that or put you in contact with my colleagues. So I know we have a few moments for question and answer. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and open it up to you.
All right. Thank you, Ryan.
You're welcome.
Any questions for Ryan? I
know
like
that was a lot of information.
I like that banner though, educating the whole person. It's I think it's a characteristic of the whole U.S. education system from like the high school up. That's a major selling point I try to focus on at the beginning of every presentation on studying in the U.S.
Yes, I agree. Yes, and the educating the whole person, that is one of the Jesuit values of Georgetown. Yeah. And so I feel that they do a really nice job. So not only academically are you taken care of in the classroom, but there are many different resources here on campus, student organizations, different offices for support, career offices, anything like that. So yeah, so I see a question. How fit are international students for the MSFS? You talked about writing policy briefs. Shouldn't those be about U.S. politics? That's a really good question. So the brief can actually be about any topic of your choosing. So, we have students focus on, both international and U.S., I don't want issues. And so students will say, for example, in our science, technology, and international affairs, students worked on the different about chips, the chips that are in our phone. So what does that look like, and how do the different countries interact with each other in order to get those in production, get those into our electronics? Of course, the pandemic and the vaccine rollouts, how the different countries work together or how they did not for those as well. So it definitely, that's a really good question. A lot of times when you hear policy briefs, you automatically think US politics, but it can be international as well. Really good question. How many students do you accept per year? So we received 800 applications, a little over 800. We usually receive 800 to 1,000 applications for the MSFS program a year. And we usually bring in a cohort of 115 to 120. So we keep our cohorts pretty small. There is that deadline, that December 1st deadline. I know some schools have an early decision deadline. If you apply by December 1st, you don't necessarily get your decision any earlier. It is just for you save that $90 application fee, and your application is already submitted, and you don't have to worry about that. Does Georgetown offer graduate assistantships? Yes, very good question. Yes, we do. And we have, so for example, I have 2 students that work with me in admissions. We have students that work with our other professors, whether that's doing communications and event planning, or we have students that are fellows that do research with our professors as well. And those can be international students. We just keep it within that 20 hours a week in order to make sure we're following all visa requirements and everything like that. So yes, a lot of different opportunities and ways to get involved, and we encourage you to do so. So great question. And if anyone would like to speak with a student, an international student, I would be happy to put you into contact with them, so you can talk a little bit more about the experience of coming to Georgetown and coming into finding housing here in DC, what it's like, the different opportunities available, anything like that. Just send me an email. Once again, I will put it in the chat right here. And I would be more than happy to talk to you more about that. So a lot of great resources. All right.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. I guess can move on to Richard, and then we'll have maybe towards the end of Richard's presentation about 10 minutes for questions for either yourself or Richard. How are you, Richard?
Hello. Good evening, right?
Good evening, sir. Good to have you in our International Education Week this summer.
Thank you. No, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm going to talk a little bit about Johns Hopkins SAIS. You just heard from our peers over at Georgetown SFS. We're a similar program here in Washington, D.C. Should I just give a quick overview and then open it for questions?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. Let me, I'll share some slides here so you can follow along. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. So hopefully you can see that.
Yes, we can.
All right. So again, my name is Richard O'Rourke. I'm a director of admissions here at the Johns Hopkins School of Advanced International Studies. We're also located right here in Washington, D.C. A little bit of background about our school. So our guiding principle is the idea of studying with purpose. And we were co-founded by 2 important individuals. One, Paul Nietzsche, who was Secretary of the Navy, and Christian Herter, who was a former Secretary of State. And they started our school in 1943, right during World War II, with the idea that they wanted to find, oops, are you still seeing my PowerPoint?
Yep,
Yeah.
you're all set.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so they formed SAIS with the idea of finding new innovative ways to deal with the post-World War II climate and world. And their vision was, a focus on innovative thinking and taking an analytical approach to problem solving and building policy expertise, which is still our guiding principles in our culture today here at SAIS. But we've grown since 1943 to a global campus with offering many different programs. So you can see here across our Washington, D.C. campus, our Europe campus in Bologna, Italy, and our Hopkins Nanjing Center in Nanjing, China. We offer our most popular traditional program is the Master of Arts in International Relations, a 2-year graduate program. But we offer several other more specialized and accelerated programs in everything from international public policy, economics and finance, global risk, intelligence strategy and cybersecurity, sustainable energy, to name a few, as well as several graduate certificate programs, short-term certificate programs, and doctoral programs. A look at our campuses. So like Georgetown, we are in Washington, D.C., which is the ideal backdrop and location for the study of international relations. Washington, D.C. is an epicenter of foreign policy and international trade and negotiations. And we consider our campus, Washington, D.C. is an extension of our campus. It's right in our backyard, and our students take advantage of major research institutes and career networking through events and lectures and panel discussions here on campus and across the city. We're excited to announce that we're moving our campus to another part of Washington, D.C., 555 Pennsylvania Avenue, which, as you may know, is where the Capitol and White House are located. We'll be just blocks from them in a brand new facility, state-of-the-art classrooms and amenities such as a coffee shop, a restaurant, fitness center, wellness center, rooftop terrace, and just new opportunities for students to really engage with people in the city, but also interdisciplinary with other Johns Hopkins graduate students from other disciplines and programs as well. A lot of multifunctional space in this new campus. So that'll start in August next year. We also offer the option to study and spend time at our SAIS Europe campus in Bologna, Italy. For students doing the 2-year program in international relations, you can do your first year in Europe and your second year here in Washington, D.C. Our Europe campus offers a great European perspective for students who want to focus their academics and professional networking in the European region or across the Middle East and North Africa region. Our campus gives them close proximity to that part of the world. But it's also a very close-knit community and offers you access to major research institutes, such as the Bologna Institute for Policy Research and the Center for Constitutional Studies and Democratic Development. It's not required to speak Italian, although that helps, or it can help. It could be a great way to learn Italian, but our courses are taught in English at SAIS Europe. The other campus, our Hopkins Nanjing Center, which is a partnership with the prestigious Nanjing University in Nanjing, China. This option does actually require that you have a proficiency level in Chinese because the courses are taught in Chinese. But it's a great opportunity for those who do have an intermediate to advanced level of Chinese language proficiency to really take it a step further and engage in multidisciplinary study in an environment in China on a campus that is committed to free and open academic exchange of ideas. Students can do a certificate program at Hopkins Nanjing and that or do a full master's degree in international affairs. Students could do some courses for the international relations degree as well in Nanjing or Europe and DC. So here at Johns Hopkins SAIS, our value proposition really is, first, you're going to learn from the best. Our faculty are leaders in their field, internationally recognized, award-winning scholars, best-selling authors. Whatever you specialize in, you'll be mentored by some of the most influential leaders in the international relations field. And we also offer the opportunity to become an expert. A wide range of programs, as you saw before, offering core skill sets that employers are looking for, but a great deal of flexibility to focus on your own academic and career interests. And our network, being a global campus, we have a large global network, professional network, and academic network, and a large alumni network of more than 22,000 influential professionals all over the globe. Finally, it's an opportunity to really advance your career. The majority of our graduates go directly in the workforce. A small percent go on to PhD and postdoc programs, but most of our students are going directly into the workforce with employers such as the IMF, World Bank, international government agencies, and other private companies like Amazon, PwC, Deloitte, and many others. Some examples of our faculty, and just put a few on here. Professor Okafor, who's an independent expert on human rights and international solidarity, and has worked very closely with the United Nations throughout his career. Professor Hall, who's an international expert on transnational advocacy and international organizations, and Professor Ralfer, a specialist in energy, resources, and the environment. If you're interested in these topics, these are definitely names you probably know, but this is just a sample of the caliber of expertise that our faculty offer. You'll see our faculty regularly in the Associated Press, Business Week, C-SPAN, Financial Times, NPR, New York Times, Washington Post, among others. Now, as becoming an expert, our programs offer a core focus in competencies that you need to advance in international studies. But then we offer many focus areas that allow you to actually focus on a functional area that you want your career to go in. In addition, we offer professional development workshops and other skills that could be technical skills or soft skills, like computer programming to public speaking or policy writing. A lot of electives to choose from. No two students will graduate with the exact same courses, having taken the same courses. Some of our programs do have a foreign language requirement, a proficiency in a foreign language to graduate, and a lot of experiential learning opportunities, which I'll talk a little bit more about. So with experiential learning, and this is an important aspect of any graduate program, is that you have the opportunity to actually practice what you're learning and have an actual experience using it before you graduate. And at Johns Hopkins SAIS, we offer a lot of different opportunities. One of them, staff rides, are very unique. These are very immersive, on-the-ground study of campaigns. Each year, SAIS offers these domestic staff rides, and we offer some international staff rides. They've gone anywhere from overseas to France, South Korea, Scotland, Italy, Poland, and among others. These staff rides are great opportunities for students to learn about a campaign or a specific conflict in real depth, but also to help them build leadership and decision-making and public speaking skills. In addition to that, we have offer internships, practicum projects, and career and study treks to our Office of Global Careers. I mentioned before, our alumni network is more than 22,000 students. We have 79 active chapters all over the world in 70 different countries, and they work very closely and are very eager to assist our current students with career exploration and mentoring throughout their program. A lot of student organizations too. Some are very career focused, others are regional interests focused, and some have special interests such as international focus or diversity coalitions, Black Student Union, the SAIS Observer for future journalists, and SAIS Pride. Our Office of Global Careers also, and this is another important aspect of graduate school as you're exploring your options, is that you'll have a career services that are going to, throughout your program, going to give you the mentoring and networking you need to go into the workforce. Our Office of Global Careers offers one-on-one career coaching. They connect you with our alumni for mentoring. They'll get you in front of networking panels so that you can ask your questions of real experts in the field. They offer career treks and study treks, as I mentioned, domestically and overseas. We have our own industry and regional career days where employers actually come on campus to talk with you. Several different professional skills workshops, so you can have additional resume building skills to be more competitive in the workplace. And employers are frequently coming to our campus to offer presentations and expose you to different career trajectories. Just some examples of internships that our students have done in the past, all over the map. And this is just a small sample, but as you can see here, a wide diversity of internship projects that have led to very rewarding careers after graduation. About 75% of our students participate in internship during the summer of between their first and second year program. And internships are really best for students who are doing a 2-year graduate program. It's very difficult to do an internship if you're in a 1-year accelerated program. And just some examples of our past employers. About half of our students go into the private sector and about a quarter go into the public sector. Quickly about admissions and financial aid. So we look at your writing. This is a research writing intensive graduate program. So we need to look at your writing and verbal skills. We also may need to see your economics and other quantitative skills. Do you have the competencies to get through an intermediate economics course? Because a lot of our programs, especially in international relations, a lot of the theory that you learn is rooted in economic principles. We'll also look at your academic background and your preparation for foreign language. If you speak a foreign language, that's even better. That makes you a more competitive applicant. But if you've studied or been exposed to foreign languages, that's the kind of thing we're looking for. And professional readiness. Most of our programs don't require work experience, but some volunteer or internship experience that shows you're moving towards an international affairs career is really what we're looking for most programs. We ask for a resume, writing samples, there'll be a statement of purpose and analytical essay, copies of your transcripts, 2 letters of recommendation. The GRE or GMAT is completely optional for all of our programs. If you really want to highlight your quantitative capabilities and you don't feel like they're highlighted enough in your application, that's when you may want to choose to submit a GRE or GMAT. But if you've got quantitative courses such as in the natural sciences or statistics or economics, and you've got good grades in those, and you have that history in your academic record, a GRE or GMAT is not really necessary. If English is not your native language, it's TOEFL, IELTS, or the Cambridge English exam. And our application fee, $85. Now, we do offer several opportunities to have that waived through organizations like Education USA. And we do offer the option to interview, a 30-minute interview to provide context about yourself that may not be in your application, and an opportunity to learn more about Johns Hopkins SAIS from a current student, because you'll be interviewing with a current student if you choose to do an interview. We do have an early notification deadline of November 1. The only advantage to this is you receive an admissions decision by December 15th. Otherwise, apply by January 7th. Decisions will be released March 9th. Some schools offer priority consideration for financial aid if you apply early. Not here. We consider all of our students equally for financial aid, regardless of when they apply. So applying early November 1, the only real advantage is an earlier admissions decision. And for financing your studies, this is an estimate of our costs. In Washington, D.C., with when you take direct costs and then all of your indirect living expenses and personal expenses into consideration, it's about 86,000 US per year. SAIS Europe actually is lower cost, and this is why for 2-year programs, some students may want to do their first year in Europe, not only because they're interested in Europe, but also because it's more cost effective in Europe. But we do review all of our applicants for scholarships, and you see our list here, several different scholarship programs offered from SAIS. The third one on there, Public Service Fellows, that's our only full tuition scholarship. But that's for students who aspire to work in public service. And when you apply, our application will ask if you're interested in this public service award. And if you are, it's an additional essay explaining why you're interested in public service and what you plan to do in public service after graduation. It's competitive, but students who are chosen for this award receive full tuition. And at that, I'll leave it at questions, and I'll leave our QR code here too, if you want to stay connected, learn more, and get invitations to future events. And I think we may have questions. You can use the chat, I think, or your microphone.
All right, thank you, Richard. I believe I could start, and I could see we could if you could answer the same questions participants raised with Ryan, like how many students do you accept per year in your program?
Sure, yeah, good question. So our Master of Arts in International Relations is our largest flagship 2-year program. Right now, we're at about a 60% admit rate. 50 to 60% is what you can expect for an admit rate for the international relations. And that's, you know, roughly 1,000 applications. So you're looking at around 500 to 600 admits. And then students who accept the offer and come to SAIS, you know, it's usually about 40% of that. So you're looking at around maybe 300 to 400 incoming students per year. We have a lot of other 1-year accelerated programs with smaller cohorts of 30 to 50 students, but their admit rates are about the same, about 50 to 60%.
Other questions for Richard? You mentioned that, yeah, what's the percentage of international students? That's
yeah, we're about 46%, so almost half. Yeah, we're pretty even. Now there are some programs that are more international or more domestic, the more 1-year focused accelerated programs, but our international relations, yeah, it's nearly half are international, and from about 48 different countries to all over the world.
Yeah. I mean, it is not just the, as you said, the capital of the United States, but it is the political capital of the world. I mean, Washington, D.C., you're within a walking distance of the major makers of the world order, so to speak.
Yes, it's every day in Washington, D.C., you know, you see people from all over the world, government officials and military officials from all over the world. I could walk down the street and see maybe 15 different countries represented, talking with each other and relationship building and holding events and negotiations. It's just nonstop in Washington, D.C., everywhere you look, all around you. So it's a great environment to study international relations.
Sure. I mean, I'm interested in the staff rides. Is it basically like students would actually go and like observe how things take place on the ground, like in terms of campaigns and negotiating the major like issues at stake in the world? Yeah.
Exactly. So they will go, and it could be, if I think of example, like they may go on a staff ride to South Korea to observe an international agency talking with the government about North Korean conflict and a specific issue that they need to resolve, and it's a real world environment, and you're seeing things firsthand. Negotiations actually take place firsthand. They're great opportunities, great experiences.
Yeah.
I think any graduate student who's studying theory really is eager to put it in practice, and to the ability to see it in practice before you graduate, extremely valuable. Now you can do that through SAIS, but you're in Washington, D.C., you can attend these types of events too that are open to the public and get that type of experience all the time throughout the year.
Sure. And you mentioned something about students. I saw one of the projects about Lebanon's banking and energy sectors. That was a kind of a plan to reform it. Is that project done, or did not the students finish it yet? Because we definitely need help in those two areas here in Lebanon. So if that project is done, please send it our way.
I know that there was a student interning with an organization who was focused on that. I think it's an ongoing project.
Nice.
But I know there was a student who interned to help do research for that specific program. Yeah, I could give you more information about it. Yeah, I can send that over. Sure. Yeah, you can see here, I mean, our students are just everywhere.
Yeah.
They focus on so many different issues that international relations isn't just one thing. There's so many challenges in the 21st century, and you'll see that our students are very passionate about a wide diversity of international issues, but they do find commonalities as a community. But you can see just in their internships that their experience is really all over the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have another question. If you could explain more about what the analytical essay is.
Yeah, so the analytical essay, it's asking a 600-word essay on a topic of international affairs. This essay is designed to give us a sample of your ability to write at a graduate level. So what you want to do with it, and it's only 600 words. So you take an international issue that you're passionate about, that you're interested in. You formulate an opinion about that issue, and you write it as a thesis statement. You offer some supporting but balanced arguments on both sides of the issue with citations, and then you conclude with a recommendation. That's what it is. And what we're looking for is, first, your choice of topic. It just needs to be related to international affairs, but it should be one that you know a lot about, or that you're passionate about, that you've really studied throughout your undergraduate career, so that you can really write competently about it and show that you understand all sides of the argument, and that your citations show that you've done research on this topic, and that you have an idea of a recommendation on how the world should move forward with that challenge. We just want to see that you can write at a graduate level about a topic in international relations that you're interested in. There's no right or wrong topic. There's no right or wrong recommendation. We're not scoring this in terms of your answers. It's just your ability to write it. That's what we're looking for. I hope that helps.
Yeah, perfect. One question on undergraduates. So ideally, I assume most students who apply for these graduates have an undergraduate degree in international relations or affairs.
Yeah.
Are there like other possible options for them at the undergraduate level?
Yeah, I mean, typically we see political science, international affairs, economics, but we see a lot of other majors. I give some examples, like maybe environmental science. We'll have students who studied environmental science and now want to expand their specialization on how to impact policy international on global climate issues. So they may have a very technical environmental science undergraduate, but now they want to specialize in international affairs around that topic. Some others may be business majors who then want to understand international relations and negotiations in a private business type capacity, but their undergraduate was business or management. I've seen marketing majors, even a music major, but their minor was political science, and was interested in the field and decided that's where they want to go career-wise, and actually had internships and some experience in international affairs. So it's not limited to any major, but we need to see that professionally and academically, international affairs is the direction you're going in.
Sure. All right. Other questions for Richard or Ryan before we bid them good noon? I think it's noon in DC now. Yeah.
I'll stop sharing for now. If not, I do hope you reach out to us. It's a pleasure for us to be here, and really hope to connect with some of your students there.
Will do, definitely. I mean, you heard Richard, you get a fee waiver if you apply through Education USA. So just give us a call, and we'll at least the application fee part and the advising, of course, we're here to serve all the student population in Lebanon. And we hope that we get to see students applying to SAIS or to Georgetown. I've been to both campuses, and if I kind of think of a career choice, like for the fourth time, and so far, I would definitely go for one of those programs, because regardless of the line of work, they're all like required for us to understand how to at least absorb the world around us, or understand in terms of the whole international direction that the world is going to. So thank you so much, Richard and Ryan, and hopefully we'll see you in future sessions that we regularly do.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you again. Keep in touch.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
See ya. Bye.